I really don't think it's a good idea for a yellow magical girl to be saying that they feel light and that they can do anything. Yeah, nope, too late. Also, sorry, I forgot to feed her this morning. We open this week with the Nega Kaiserin, a villainess who actually appears frequently in her show, though does become just a little lamer with each of her appearances, as we'll even see in this very episode. Anyway, Urara got a call from her manager, who was always a bit of a reference to a certain important-ish figure in the Precure franchise. Also, why do you sound like you turned into a bird, sir? But yeah, he was mostly calling to tell her that the director had taken a sudden vacation, so production on the show was on a temporary halt. Then, being the surprising little pessimist she was, the Yellow Cure interpreted this as her scouting out for a new lead actress to replace her. Elsewhere, we got one of the more unexpected, yet still very much appreciated interactions with Bambi trying to sell Coco a new apartment. Yeah, he had decided, or rather had been forced to stick around in the human world, mostly because his bro was understandably getting just as tired of this will-they-won't-they relationship with Nozomi as much as we were. And speaking of whom, as it just so happened, the apartment was right next to Nozomi's. I'm pretty sure that's all kinds of legal, but you know what? Never mind. Whatever concludes this plot point faster. Seriously, I don't consider myself a Coco hater, but I am enjoying seeing both his buddy and secretary dogpiling on him to just grow a pair and resolve this prolonged ship. At the very least, we would be able to focus more on the superior ships, like Syrup here, after he learned about Urara's tribulations from Nozomi. Thus, he went to see her, and hey, I finally got what I wanted. I mean, I'm pretty sure Edward Elric was always meant to grow, whether you go with the original anime or Brotherhood. The two went on, and let's be honest here, a date, though while Urara put on a disguise to avoid unnecessary paparazzi, she didn't get any, and in fact was kind of disappointed that Shiro was getting all the attention, and that's a nice little detail to really highlight Urara's issue with her declining stardom both publicly and within herself. Anyway, they went to what feels like the only damn restaurant in this whole damn city. Shiro, I know that you're a bird and everything, but you know, we humans have a little something called metabolism that only gets worse with age. And believe it or not, this would actually play a very significant role later in the episode. For now though, when the married couple's baby was acting up during the lunch hours, Urara and Shiro offered to watch them. And of course, the former idol used a certain overused insert song as a lullaby in a nice and actually subtle moment of reuniting with her childhood. However, those nice feelings would only be temporary before the pessimism returned, and she again wasn't sure if she was cut out for the stage. Yeah, I admit it, these two are the cuter couple. I mean, again, put aside the whole teacher and student thing with Nozomi/Coco, these two at least don't have nearly as much baggage. I mean, for one thing, while there was always a sense that these two could get together, they also didn't rush into it, and therefore didn't develop that much of a melodramatic longing for each other that would lead to some ghosting later. They were just a couple of kids developing feelings for each other, and now they're a couple of adults trying to sort out their futures that may or may not see them get together. Wholesome stuff that I actually really like. Anyway, Shiro later bought a guitar, wanting to take up the instrument, after of course being influenced by the former singer, and admiring her passion for the art. A passion that he also wanted to reignite with his playing. Urara complied, and even wanted to write a new song, but Syrup was still at the YouTube tutorials phase of skills, so they needed to bring in a teacher. Okay, never mind. This is clearly the best goddamn ship in the show. They managed to complete their new song, which attracted the attention of the Dark Knight Lights, who were passing by IRL, and totally didn't look like anyone we know. But yeah, since Urara wasn't an idol anymore, and thus probably didn't have as much pull in the music industry, they figured playing on YouTube would be the next best thing. Well, okay, it actually did go viral, and understandably did get a few detractors. And the show has suddenly become Wreck-It Ralph 2. Like, I get that this is gonna be part of the big message of the episode, but really, this whole weaponizing mean comments does feel like a bit of a passe trope at this point, after Ralph and Oshinoko, the latter obviously pulling off much better than the former.
手紙くれたのにずっと連絡しなくてごめん。僕は。
Okay, you get a couple of points for cock-blocking the ghosting fairy. Shiro bravely tried to hold off the shadows, with Urara trying to remind him of the possibility that he might get infected by their touch, and of course nothing happened as he wasn't even human, but still kudos for taking the initiative. This was something that Urara realized she was lacking after having sulked for most of the episode over a little criticism from her director, while literal embodiments of criticism were terrorizing people. That little bit of irony woke Urara up to a much better transition than Rin's from last week. Nozomi also quickly joined the fight, but it was clear that they needed to take the fight to the source in the internet. Okay, Precure, what kind of show do you want to be? Madoka, Disney, or Digimon? Pick a lane and stick with it. Also, yeah, while Urara's new insert song here did nicely represent her renewed passion for her craft, and did match very nicely with this well-animated knockoff of our war games, I'm also an old-school dub fan, so I kinda prefer this song. Anyway, the episode ended with the not-too-surprising reveal that the director never intended to replace Urara, and in fact was giving her the break to sort out her feelings. Obviously she did, and had even come up with a new scene for the show where the main character would bond with everyone through eating together. Okay, that sounds more like you just want an excuse for getting a free meal during your performance, but hell of it, that smile was cute, so I'll let it pass. This was a really nice outing, mostly thanks to the OTP of the show. Yeah. Nah, of course, Urara and Shiro were really cute together, and while pretty damn blatant, I did get a huge kick out of the Digimon battle at the end. Urara's theater drama was just kind of there, and it did have a very predictable conclusion, but I did kind of like the underlying theme they had going that got us there, at least. The idea of toxic comments creating literal monsters is absolutely nothing new at this point, with even the forerunner of internet isekais having tackled it multiple times now. That said, I think this episode was also trying to point out that not all criticism is just plain vindictive, like in the case of Urara's director, just trying to motivate her to better herself, and the young adult just need to take some of it with stride. Stuff like that is a legit good moral for all ages, especially in this modern social media age, and I kind of wish it had been highlighted just a little more. Also, yeah, some positive comments got infected too, but I'll just assume it spreads like the ring virus, which, yeah, is a thing now. Regardless, and in spite of how it kind of made Belle look even lamer, as though she's some Reddit modder, the real highlight of this episode was Shiro and Urara's interactions. They not only made a cute couple, but it was also clear that the former was doing everything he could to get the latter out of her slump, and in turn, Urara responded appropriately with much gratitude. Their interactions were wholesome as all hell, and the final product of her new insert song really highlighted this. It actually kind of made sense to include Nozomi and Koko in this, just to highlight what an actually healthy relationship looked like. Meanwhile, the fight of this episode might have been my personal favorite of the series so far, both on a technical level with Yu Yoshiyama still getting work alongside Futoshi Higashide and Yuichi Nakazawa. And yeah, it might also have to do with my nostalgia-fueled brain going, I know what that is! I mean, I'm not going to deny any bias, but it was still a really fun sequence regardless of how much they're ignoring the little time flower conundrum. And overall, this was a very cute and enjoyable outing. While it's more about interactions online is a little overplayed, it is at least somewhat still topical, then hey, at least it's one of the more accurate depictions of how you go viral on YouTube by mooching off of someone else's channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and let's see if we can't make this video go viral. Actually, you know what, never mind, I'd rather sleep. Though we won't sleep on the Max Heart review, which is making that Max Heart review, which is proceeding smoothly, and should be out sometime in December, and probably in time for Christmas at least. So look forward to it. Until then though, for now my friends, and hold on. Hello? Just another telemarketer.